All right. It's that time of day, night, week, whatever it is that you want to call it. It's Losing Sucks. We're on the mics. It's me. It's Travis. It's time to go. Week 4 is in the books. We're going to talk about some week 5s. We got big picks. We got a rundown to get through. Travis, how the hell are you?
Doing great. 1 month of fantasy football has been played already, which
Sure
leaves
has.
us 3 quarters of the season left. A lot of football to be played. At this point, you start to transition into we're not overreacting, we're just reacting.
Right.
We've seen enough now to know what the trends are going to be. And you always want to be a step ahead on those. So we
For
will get
sure.
into quite a bit of players' names tonight. Less
Yeah.
kind of macro strategy and more, okay, what are we doing with this guy? What are we doing with that guy?
Right.
Which I think at this point in the year, those 1-3 teams, 0-4 teams, that's very important. What am I doing with this guy on my team?
Right. No, it's definitely that time. It's no more, hey, I spent a 4th round pick on this guy. We know who's being used. We know who's kind of not what we wanted to be. Darren Waller.
Yep.
It's there's plenty of guys out there, but there's also still room for optimism on guys who are, like we've said it before on this show, rookies getting into their first year, take some time. So do you panic? Do you hold? We're gonna get into that as well. But yeah, there's quite a bit of football to get through this past week, Trav.
A lot happened. I'm going to try to touch on everything that I felt was important. I'm sure I'll miss some,
Sure.
but I'm ready for a rundown.
Oh yeah, let's get to it.
I'm gonna dive in to the rundown. I'll be exhausted because it's like a triathlon.
Hell yeah.
Your week 4 rundown starts with the Lions beating the Packers handily. David Montgomery is your overall running back 2 on the week.
Whew.
I'm starting to think that what the Lions organization meant by we really love Jahmyr Gibbs is we fucking love David Montgomery, because
Yeah.
every Jahmyr Gibbs owner is hating this. I think we tweeted out when
Man.
they got Montgomery, we said Gibbs owners are going to hate David Montgomery, just like Swift owners hated Jamal Williams. It's the same thing. It's repeating.
It.
David Montgomery's going to beat Gibbs most weeks this season.
At this point, it's hard to argue against it. 30 some odd carries.
Monty,
don't do that
20
by
points
accident.
per game so far. RB7. Gibbs, 9.7 points per game. RB33. That's a big gap. It is not happening so far in 2023 for Gibbs. Amon-Ra St. Brown scores. Christian Watson scores. Romeo Dobbs has a very nice day. 9 catches and looks like a steal right now in drafts in all formats.
Killing it.
The Falcons suck. I do not know how they've won 2 games. I looked at their record over and over again and thought, there's no way. They can't be 500.
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley starts the game with a touchdown versus his former team, but ends the day with just 2 targets. The rest of the Jaguars' weapons were pretty solid. Bijan and London had fine days, but everybody's ceiling feels so limited right now with Ritter at quarterback. I don't see them changing yet until they go on a really bad losing streak. So it's kind of a waiting game, but Bijan did top 100 yards for you. London found the end zone.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills beat the shit out of Tua's Dolphins. Diggs and Allen go bonkers, 36 points apiece. Imagine having that stack in Dynasty.
Oof.
Some of us don't have to imagine. It was a fun Sunday. A-Chain puts in another top 5 week. RB4 on the season. Yes, I know. A 55-point week will help that.
He's already
But
the running back 2 in points per
He
game.
is balling. More to come on A-Chain later in the show, but that boy good. Tua,
Yeah.
Alabama, QB 18 on the week.
Oh no! We suck again!
Yes, we do. That's okay. That's okay. He's a great quarterback with a hell of an arm.
It's 1 week.
Broncos win the toilet bowl versus the Bears, coming back from a 21-point deficit.
Hold on.
Chicago's-
Hold on.
Oh no! We suck again!
Chicago struggles again in the second half. Their O-line is horrific, but their defense is even worse, apparently. Justin Fields, though, puts in a top 3 quarterback performance. We love to see it, especially for Ben. Suck on that. DJ Moore, wide receiver 5 on the week. Cole Kmet, tight end 1 on the week. Imagine selling him in Dynasty. Rare. Let's keep this going. Bears. Javonte Williams hurt. Everyone still hates Russell Wilson. Those are the rules. We don't make them. Yeah. Lamar Jackson gets it done. QB4 on the week. As the Ravens smack the Browns without Deshaun Watson, Cleveland looks like shit. Baltimore looks very solid, and they can win in many ways. Justin Tucker actually missed a field goal in this game.
What?
Rare sight.
What are the signs of the apocalypse?
That's one of them. We may be headed in that direction.
Oh, God.
If Tua learns to throw, we might be really headed towards that. Cleveland looked like shit, I already said. Can you trust anybody in Cleveland right now? It's tough. I can't. In a great matchup, probably Amari Cooper, Jerome Ford.
Yeah.
But the names are ugly.
Ugh.
Welcome back, the real Mark Andrews, 25 points this week.
Yeah.
It feels so good for him to be back and rolling, giving you what you
Damn
paid
right.
for in the draft.
Damn right.
Dustin, I'm calling this the what the fuck are we doing game of the week. This goes to Cincinnati and Tennessee. The Bengals decide absolutely to not show up. The Titans give us a vintage Derrick Henry performance.
About damn time.
That Titans defense is nasty. Temper expectations when any of your guys are going against the Titans. That's what we've learned through 4 weeks.
No joke. It's yeah.
The excitement for Jonathan Taylor returning this week should be tempered against Tennessee.
I have questions.
The Rams, led by Kyron Williams, your boy, and Puka, the god, Nakua, find a way, and they put the Colts away in overtime. Kyron is now RB3 on the season. Is he a weekly RB1? Yes or no?
Is that an actual question? You asking me that?
I'm going to ask you because I feel like you know more about Kyron than most.
Fair. Kyron, man. So Kyron is an enigma. I loved him coming out of college. Here's the thing, is that he is very inefficient, but god damn it, he gets so much work. He's probably like, even in PPR leagues, it's hard to. Everything in me tells me, no, he can't be an RB1. It's Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams is a nice talent, but coming out, man, I likened him to like Austin Eckler. You know,
Yep.
The guy can do it all, run between the tackles. He's not lightning quick, but man, he's a grinder. You know, he'll
the ball
work
is
for
in
the
his
yards.
hands.
Exactly. The volume is king. He's having one of these seasons where in Dynasty, no, I'm not looking to buy him at these prices. But
Okay.
season-long leagues, hell yeah, give me this guy.
He could be a league winner type of player.
Likely, because I don't know who else they're going to bring in. We had a conversation with a guy, a good friend, Ben. He's in the comments. He's watching this video. We had a conversation talking about, is Kyron Williams, what is it? I can't remember what it was. It was a top 12 or a top 10 running back in PPR. And I kind of hesitated, but then realized it's PPR. He's getting so much volume. You have to hold him there as an RB1. Is he going to be a top 5 guy the rest of the way? That's probably too bold. But yeah, top 12 running back the rest of the way, Kyron Williams. With that volume being the key caveat, yeah, I would see it.
If we get to week 8 and he's still in that top 10, he's gonna have to have some really bad games to fall outside of that top 15 range.
And he could,
but there's nobody else right now. So
no.
As long as they don't have anybody else, I think Kyron's a very safe back end RB1
See what
most
Cooper
weeks.
Kupp does is the offense.
But that's the thing. Cooper Kupp can't kill everyone, can he? It's like, Cooper Kupp's back. Higbee's going to suck. Puka's going to suck. Atwell's going to suck. Kyron. It's like, he's not getting 30 targets. Yes, he's back, but like everybody else is still going to be okay. They're going to be all right. Welcome, Jacob. Good evening. Will be replaced by week 10. By who?
No, that's his name is what he's saying. Kyron will be replaced by week 10ms. that's pretty
But
good.
who? By who?
That's a good question. So Ben asked me that same question, and I'm like, I don't have an answer because it's not Ronnie Rivers. It's not Zach Evans. What are they going to do? Sign Leonard Fournette? Meh.
It's
I
his
don't know.
job. It's his job.
They could trade for someone outside of a trade. Let's just put that caveat out. Outside of a trade, Kyron is looking really nice. In Dynasty, I'm selling. Redraft, it's just free wins. Just
Yep.
hold.
I like it. Only bright spot for the Colts, A-Rich. Looks like a very
so
reliable
good.
fantasy weapon already.
So good.
The Baker Mayfield Bucks moved to 3-1 after a thrashing of the New Orleans Saints. Mike Evans gets hurt. Doesn't seem to be too serious. Chris Godwin with great volume, which is kind of what he does. And Alvin Kamara returns to the National Football League, the Shield itself,
Hell yeah.
to the tune of 13 catches. Holy shitballs. He is a
My
running
God.
back. Philadelphia needs overtime to take down the Commanders. DeAndre Swift scores again. As Dustin knows, DeAndre Swift from the 1 is very good. If anywhere else, he's very good. It was an A.J. Brown is him week going for wide receiver 1 overall. 175 yards, 2 touchdowns. It did help to get some in overtime, but
Love to
those
see it.
points count too. Nothing to write home about for Washington other than we like to see them slowly getting better because they have a lot of weapons that can be useful.
Yeah.
The Vikings beat the Mighty Might-led Panthers, Mighty Might being Bryce Young, on the back of Justin Jefferson's 2-touchdown day. Alexander Madison was still the workhorse with 18 touches for 98 yards, saying, "I ain't dead yet, you fucks." TJ Hawkinson now, tight end 1 overall through 4 weeks.
That's got to
If
be
we had emojis, it would be 3 eyeball emojis from me right here.
maybe
But we
a couple
don't.
Eggplants. Maybe a couple eggplants.
Maybe a couple eggplants. Houston, we have no problems. CJ Stroud going after Bryce Young is the equivalent of Christian McCaffrey going after Jamar Chase in the first round of fantasy. Criminal right now.
Awful.
Damian, what was Carolina thinking? Bryce Young over CJ Stroud at this
It's all
point
that
looks
narrative, man.
horrible.
It's all he's got the qualities. He's got the qualities. He's
It
got the
looks
qualities.
Bad
He,
right now.
He may be the size of a 12-year-old. He's got the qualities.
Houston is
Intangibles.
very, very happy.
How many points are intangibles worth? Can we just ask that question? How many points are they worth?
Ask Tim Tebow. Damian Pierce finally gets big volume, as projected by Jacob Fabian. Nico Collins looking like a league-winning value right now. Wide receiver 7 on the season. Hear him roar.
Fuck yeah.
We'll get to Nico in a bit. The Raiders missed Jimmy Garoppolo. What a weird sentence. As they get beat by the Chargers. Nothing very notable from this one outside of Josh Jacobs, who goes 8 for 81 through the air and leads all receivers in the game. He also scored on the ground, RB3 on the week. Welcome back. We said to buy low for the last 2 weeks for Josh Jacobs. We hope you did.
Yep.
The Dallas Cowboys blow out the Patriots in Dallas. No monster performances in this one. Ferguson, though, 7 catches for 77 yards. He looks to be the number 2 option on this offense. Kind of like Dalton Schultz was.
Yeah.
I whiffed on
Shoot.
Brandon Cooks in a couple of leagues. He has been invisible
man.
so far.
He's
he
also
toast?
50. I feel like he's toast.
At 50, you're getting there.
Yeah, you're up there. AARP.
Brock Purdy has still not lost an NFL football game as the 49ers beat the hapless Cardinals. Christian McCaffrey, now averaging 30 points per game, CMC, after a 48.7 point performance in week 4. I hope you have some shares. He's unbelievable. Welcome back, Brandon Ayuk, 148 yards. Looked incredibly handsome doing it.
Yeah.
There's a great ass on Brandon Ayuk. I'm just saying. It's there and it's nice.
like a rear.
Like
a,
Larry Fitz type comparison.
Oh. Okay.
Take a
well-
closer look. Ayuk's been doing the squats.
Okay. All right.
I just put out a
I'm in
poll
for it.
tonight, Brandon Ayuk or T. Higgins in Dynasty because of a recent trade. What do you think the results say 1 hour in?
Probably Ayuk.
Ayuk, 74% of the 53 votes
well,
so far.
I mean, T's got a cripple thrown to him, so what are you gonna do?
We love T. Higgins. We love Brandon Ayuk. It's a toss
Why
up.
doesn't Brock give his third leg to Joe Burrow? Okay? Everyone wins. Everyone
What would they
wins.
get in exchange?
I don't know. Burrow's wife? I don't know. I don't know. That's probably too far. I'm sorry, Miss Burrow. Is he married? I don't know. Can we send a fruit basket or something? I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I kind of did, but not really.
Is this Happy Gilmore? Are you standing at the door? I'm sorry, baby. I love
I'm
you.
sorry, baby. I didn't mean
I hate
that.
you. You suck. James Conner sucked because he sucks. Sorry, Jacob. But the
Whoa,
pass catchers
whoa.
all had a nice day for Arizona playing catch up all day. Josh Dobbs has given them much more life than anybody thought. If you thought that Josh Dobbs would keep Marquise Brown and Michael Wilson in the top 24 receiver range, you are one of few. I'd love to see the receipts.
Yeah, good.
The Chiefs beat the Jets in prime time. This was the
Yikes.
Isaiah Pacheco show. Everyone else was pretty mediocre from a fantasy standpoint. Zach
Chiefs are
Wilson showed some flashes. Coaches are saying now, no more Brees Hall pitch count going forward. Wheels may be up for this Jet.
Ooh,
They need it
okay.
too.
All right.
And finally on Monday night, the Seahawks beat the Giants, who are so awful.
Oh God.
They are
man.
horrific to watch. My eyes bleed when I watch the Giants play. I can't stop them.
Anytime Daniel Jones is on a field, it's just
Emotional damage.
It's horrible.
it's so bad. It's like it. I don't know whose fault it is. I know it's
All
it's
of
not-
them. They all
They all
suck.
suck. They're all. It's like what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring in Darren Waller. We're not gonna use him at all. We're also gonna bring in a bunch of slot receivers, throw it to him minimally, and then okay, you might be asking yourselves, okay, what about the offensive line? Here's the thing, though, we're not gonna have one. Throw him
So
off.
why doesn't Daniel Jones get the Justin Fields treatment? He's
No,
going
that's
through the same shit.
It's a different.
And
kind of
Justin
shit.
Fields is a QB1 through this shit.
Sure. I mean, I don't have an answer.
I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't know. It's
Because Ben
levels.
sees color.
Oh
Questions
my
of the night.
God.
We have 5 questions of the night.
Okay.
I will ask you, hear your response, give a little
Yeah.
rebuttal if needed, and move on to the next. Those
Okay.
of you watching and listening, all 2 of you, please tell us what you think. Which
Yeah.
running backs are you taking over A-Chain in redraft and or dynasty? Bonus points for both.
Oh boy, in redraft or in dynasty? Okay, well, redraft. I mean, okay, so I'm definitely going to take CMC
Okay?
over him.
I'll list off some guys. You tell me yes
Okay.
or no.
Yeah,
Saquon Barkley.
no.
A-Chain over Barkley.
Yep. H.A.
Okay? Josh Jacobs.
No.
A-Chain.
Yeah, A-Chain. I'd take A-Chain.
Wow.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Derrick Henry. I'm gonna take Derrick Henry over A-Chain for sure.
I would take Josh Jacobs over Derrick Henry.
Really?
I
Oh,
would.
I would not. I would not. Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that.
A-Chain or
I just-
Kyron Williams.
Kyron Williams.
Oh, wow. Kenneth Walker?
Kenneth Walker. Yep.
DeAndre Swift.
A-Chain.
All right, so he is solidified as a top 10 redraft running back for you.
I think he will be. I think he'll end up because look, this is what gets people. This is what gets people to Devon A-Chan. He doesn't need volume. He's not a volume guy. We saw this with like CJ2K. I've likened everybody. Shouldn't say everybody. A lot of people have already said this comparison, but I said it before that.
You usually
A-Chan-
do.
A-Chan is just lightning. You don't need 15, 20 strikes of lightning. You'd love it, sure, but A-Chan's he needs 3 big plays, okay? And he'll get 10 to 12 carries and maybe a couple receptions. But you're forgetting the okay, it's not like we need a bunch of volume from like Tyreek Hill or the Chiefs offense. You just need pieces, and that's what this offense is. It's a Ferrari. You want a piece of this offense, and Achane is used in valuable ways. It makes sense for fantasy. Don't overthink it. Don't just because he's not getting 15 to 20 touches a game doesn't mean he's not valuable. He will score. He's going to put up big numbers. There'll be games where he's just mediocre. That happens to every player. But you're going to miss the blow-up games. It's like we've talked about before. Do you want the steady guys or do you want the guys that can win you a week? That's what Devin Achane is.
The thing with him is if he has 8 to 10 touches a week.
Yep.
In a certain, he usually will have more than that. But let's just say he has an eight touch week. You have such a better chance with him to still give you 15 points than most running backs if they were to touch it with eight touches a week.
Yeah, if there's a guy I'm giving 8 touches to and expecting him to produce, it's Devon Achane.
All right,
for sure.
Quickly, Dynasty.
Okay.
How many guys are you taking over Achane? I'm going to go ahead and skip Bijan, Breece Hall, CMC, Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker. Let's get to the Barkley, ETN, DeAndre Swift group in Dynasty.
In Dynasty, okay.
Now we're talking 7, 8, 9 overall in Dynasty.
Right.
I would take Achane over Travis Etienne.
I'm not quite there yet.
And I'm not saying I would trade away my ETN share for just Achane.
Sure.
But I think I would prefer. I think he has more points from this point forward than Travis Etienne does.
Like I'm looking at some rankings online. Honestly I think Achane's right there. I definitely take him over Jacobs, Swift, Rashad White, Javonte Williams. Yep. I could be talked. I mean, look, it just depends because do I ever see him getting the volume these other guys get? No, but again, you don't need it. To me, he's very similar now to Jahmyr Gibbs. That's just my opinion.
That happens so quick.
Raheem
Mostert is 31 years old. I know he doesn't have
he is.
huge volume in his career because of injuries.
Sure. Yep.
But it's because of injuries. He missed practice today with a knee issue. At some point, the wheels fall off for Mostert. Even if he makes it through this entire season, we're talking Dynasty. Achane's 21.
For sure. Yeah, he's very young.
He's a top 10 Dynasty running back.
I think that's
Back
fair.
end,
He's close.
that 7,
He's
8,
close.
9, 10 group,
Yeah.
the ETN, Jacobs group, he's right in there.
I mean, yeah, for sure. It's hard to say no to that. I don't care what happens to this offense in the future. Achane's going to be, he's a precision laser. He's going to be able to do what you need him to do. So yeah, for the next 2-3 years, I'm in. Top
Jacob threw some names up there. If I had Eckler and somebody offered me Achane, I would take the deal.
Oh, easily. Yeah, if you have Eckler, I would try to sell him for Achane if you can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Question number 2.
Yeah.
What do we do with the Bengals weapons right now in 2023 for home leagues, redraft leagues?
Redraft. Take
your dynasty goggles off. What are you doing with your Bengals right now?
Crying. I'm upset. It's tough, man. Like you have to scroll down a bit to see where's Jamar Chase. I don't even he's what group is he with? He's with Tutu Atwell and DK Metcalf in points per game right now. I don't even want to scroll too far to try to see T. Higgins right now. Redraft, you're just kind of holding out. Like you can't.
What do you do?
You can't. I don't trade Jamar Chase personally.
Okay, you wait on him because he's healthy and T's out.
Because like you missed your shot to. I mean, granted, you didn't know, but Jamar Chase for Puka would have been Jamar Chase for Puka Plus would have been. You get some free wins. It's a long season. I don't want to overreact, but you can't sell Jamar Chase. I'm selling T. Higgins if I can for some name value. Be like, they'll figure it out. Maybe wait for an okay game.
Okay.
For like you brought up Ayuk and Higgins. If I can get Ayuk for Higgins or something like that,
I don't think you can get it right now with T. Hurt in redraft.
Yeah, that's true. He's banged up, so
He says he won't miss much time. I don't know what that means, but their bye week's 2 weeks away. And his
Let me
rib
throw
is
some names out there,
fractured.
and you tell me if you would take these guys over T Higgins. Okay, DJ Moore.
yes, probably.
Okay, Michael Pittman.
No, I'm not a Pittman fan.
Okay, all right, Jalen Waddle.
Waddle.
Okay, Christian Watson.
Oh man, I would probably get a small second piece with
Sure.
Watson and give up T Higgins.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. Here's another one, Terry McLaurin.
T Higgins.
Yeah, so I mean you're still talking.
I think patch it up. You're only patching it up for 3 weeks. I don't want to sell
Yeah.
too cheap here. He's still a top 15 guy when he's playing.
Yeah, I mean that's really
But-
kind of where you're at.
But yeah, I mean, he's not what he was when you drafted 4 weeks ago. Joe Mixon, I
No.
think, is fine.
I'm trying to get
Not
out of Joe
competing
Mixon.
with anybody.
Trying to get out of Joe Mixon.
I don't think you'll get what you should for Joe Mixon, so I'd rather probably roll him out there. Ben says Nico Collins or T. Higgins.
Oh,
Wow.
that is a great one, Ben. I mean, that is really good. I'm gonna go with Nico Collins.
I
there.
think so too.
That hurts in the heart, but man, I gotta
Shit.
go with Nico Collins there. That's
But
tough.
what we're saying is we expect Nico to score more. But if you
That
have T.
offense.
Higgins, get something with Nico because of the name, you probably will.
Yeah, maybe depends on the guy. Depends
Yeah.
on the
It depends on the experience of the player and their
Yeah.
overreaction. I think T. Higgins.
get a feel. Get
Yeah.
a feel.
For sure.
Ask them how they feel about T Higgins.
All right, what happens to Puka when Cooper Kupp returns? Could be this week. He's back at practice today.
Great question. Going up against Philadelphia. Their secondary is sus.
I just mean season-wise.
Sure.
What do you start to expect from Puka? Inside top 20 or just outside?
Okay, this is gonna be a hot take for some people. Both of these wide receivers are healthy the rest of the season will be wide receiver ones.
Both top 12s, Puka
top
and
12s.
Cooper Kupp.
Both top 12s from
So you don't
whenever-
fear it at all.
He's not going to put up the volume he was, but there are going to be weeks where it's like, oh, damn, okay, Puka's still a thing. And
He's going to
Cooper
be
Kupp-
still consistent.
he's still consistent, yeah. Instead
Because
of getting 15
Yeah,
targets,
exactly,
he'll get 10
exactly.
targets.
Our brains are aligned. I love when that happens.
Yeah, Puka's
If
a
you're
wide
getting
receiver
7 or
one.
8 catches,
Yeah.
you're going to be wide receiver 1 at the end of the year.
Yeah, I need some people to start throwing some motherfucking respect on Matthew Stafford's name.
He's
Because-
so good.
This man just produces fantasy weapons. That's all
He
he,
really
does.
does.
That's all he does.
He really does.
Put
I'm
him
not
on the
scared about
field.
what happens to Puka. I think he stays in the top
No.
20 also.
Yeah, easily top 20. Easy.
Dak Prescott, QB 22 through 4 weeks. They've had some weird games where he doesn't need to do anything, but maybe they're built like that. In redraft, are you still starting him over guys like Stroud, Goff, etc., or are you benching Dak?
I'm benching Dak.
I am too.
Like, I'm just trying to trade him. Like, if you can
He
go
was like a
trade-
7th, 8th round pick.
Yeah. Dak is like a man. Like I don't know. It's like I don't know. He's like Kirk Cousins if Kirk Cousins ever stopped doing steroids, like I don't know.
If he
It's
lost
like,
his swag,
yeah, if he lost his swag, like lost his chain somewhere. I don't know. Like I don't know. It just Dak is not exciting, He should have been. This offense, you got all these weapons. He's got Cooks and Gallup and CeeDee Lamb and the tight ends going great, but no one gets super excited for an offense that's throwing 7 targets to a tight end for 37 yards and 2
Yeah.
touchdowns. It's like, man, awesome. This offense is scoring touchdowns. Dak still is doing nothing. I don't
I'm
know.
benching him until further notice.
Yeah.
Play somebody with that's going to give you the
You just
20-point
put up-
game.
I would play Stroud over him, Goff, Brock Purdy, you name them.
Sam Howell versus Chicago tomorrow.
Yeah, I would do
Probably.
that. I would do Howell over Dak for sure.
All right, final question. This one is close to home. You are
Mm-hmm.
a Trevor Lawrence truther.
I am.
If you have Trevor Lawrence in Dynasty, how much would you need in addition to Brock Purdy to accept the deal? I won't hold you to this. I'm not going to offer you Brock Purdy for Trevor Lawrence. I tweeted a couple days ago or maybe yesterday, Brock Purdy over Trevor Lawrence in all formats.
No, he's not over Trevor Lawrence in Dynasty.
Why not?
No, because look, at the end of the day, and this is where you kind of have to split off the fantasy from the NFL. Brock Purdy is playing exactly how Kyle Shanahan wants him to play. This is all going to be contingent on that team staying healthy. It's like, okay, so here's
why is Jacksonville not contingent on that? Like, I want the argument to be separate, because if I can ask you the same question about if Ridley or Christian Kirk go down,
perfect example,
or ETN goes down, like what happens? It's the same
perfect
thing.
example. I got the example here. Okay, Purdy lives in this well-constructed house. Okay, he lives in this well-constructed house. If that all crumbles down, Purdy's done. Okay.
But what does that mean?
Hold on.
What brings that house down?
In Jacksonville with T-Law, the house is T-Law. The house is T-Law.
Okay.
That team is him. Like, the 49ers are not going at the pace they're going because Brock Purdy's taking them there.
That's fine. I mean, fantasy-wise.
Right. You're talking dynasty, though.
What's
you have to
wrong
ask
with
these
the
questions.
house? What could break from the house that would crumble the entire thing?
Nothing might. I'm saying, if I'm talking year to year to year, you can't tell me Brock Purdy is guaranteed to be a starting quarterback 3 years from now. I feel pretty damn good that Trevor Lawrence is going to be a starting quarterback 3 years from now.
What's different?
If they do not
other than
win,
draft capital.
Yeah. Well, draft capital is a huge freaking deal.
Who's not going to win? San Francisco wins 12 games a year.
Sure, absolutely. And the bar is the Super Bowl. If he does not reach a Super Bowl, guess what? That team is saying, well,
that's fair.
fuck
Their
it.
expectations are different.
Sure, their expectations are different. And you know what? The front office in Jacksonville is not going to go, well, this generational quarterback that we drafted, after 3 years, we're just not going to extend him. No, they're going to pick up his fifth-year option. They're going to sign him to an extension. They're going to continue trying to build around him because they do not want to say, we screwed up on taking this generational quarterback. Whereas 49ers are like, wow, wasn't that fun to have that seventh-round pick play well for a while? Better get this better guy in here. Like,
okay, let me ask you this. Because Brock Purdy is not going to have to get paid for a while. That house, that mansion that they're in, they get to keep repairing it with other superstars with that money when they need to.
Yeah.
They also have a great system. He doesn't have to do much. People are wide fucking open all the time.
They have a great system, but they are also starting to have to pay a lot of people, and
they have money to do it because Brock has 3 fucking years left.
Sure, but the question is when Brock has to get paid, which I'll pull up his contract.
So you're saying
sure
beyond 3 is your dynasty outlook here?
So at 2 years, I'm starting to ask questions about that third year.
Okay. So from this point forward, the rest of 23 and 24, who has more fantasy points?
Trevor Lawrence. Yeah.
Based on what?
Let's see. What is he? So Brock Purdy right now is the quarterback 11. Okay. That's respectable.
When he took over last year, he was QB 9 the rest of the way.
So
he's only been a QB 1, a top 11 quarterback, ever since being a starter.
Sure. I'm just still saying that I believe in Trevor Lawrence more than I believe in Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy looks good. I will give him that.
I'm not saying who's a better player. I'm saying fantasy-wise. Why do you believe in Trevor Lawrence fantasy-wise other than Purdy in that system?
Okay, why do I believe in Trevor over?
In fantasy,
Purdy?
what does he bring? What gives you the idea that he will outscore Brock Purdy? With McCaffrey, Ayuk, Debo, Kittle, all of them locked in through the end of 24.
Sure.
What changes that brings him back out of the QB1?
It's that longevity thing. I think Trevor Lawrence is going I just think Trevor Lawrence is a better caliber player. Like that's really it. Brock Purdy is I don't see him as being better than Trevor Lawrence. Like I don't. So dynasty, why? That's a great question. I love the question. This really makes me think. Because in Dynasty, I can't justify trading Trevor Lawrence for Brock Purdy.
That's
Purdy's
the
done
question was, what do you need in addition to Brock Purdy?
right. And that's a
If
good
you have
question.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. In addition to Brock Purdy, man, I would need a couple other pieces.
If somebody offered you Brock Purdy and DJ Moore, you're not accepting it.
no, I wouldn't. Accept
Why?
I don't believe what we're seeing from Purdy is what we're gonna get the entire time.
How long does he have to do it? 30 games?
it may
40
not-
games?
Whatever Brock Purdy's doing, I think Trevor Lawrence can do. That's just my prerogative.
But he's not doing it.
What did Trevor Lawrence finish as last year?
Not QB9.
Let's see what he was. He was QB 12. He was QB 12 last year. He was QB 12. So
And what is he right now?
he's QB 19, I think. QB 20. Well, 21, I think. Yeah, something like that.
Outside the top 15.
Sure. It's been a rough go for these first 4 games, for sure.
The
This is
thing
a good-
is,
I
it's
like
never
this.
going to be a rough go for San Francisco.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know.
When?
Wait, how can you sit here and say that it's
When
never
has
gonna
it
happen?
been rough? They fuck everybody up.
A lot can change in 2 years, my
Nothing
guy.
has changed in 4 years. They were in the Super Bowl in 2019. They had
Yeah.
Mahomes beat with 5 minutes left.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Jacob Fabian. Of course, put Trevor Lawrence in San Francisco, and that's a whole different ball game.
Nobody's arguing that Trevor Lawrence is not a better player.
But you're asking
Fantasy
about it
wise, who
in
scores more
Dynasty.
points?
Yes, right now Brock Purdy is scoring more points. Absolutely.
Like if you had them both on your team and you had to decide who to play,
but you have
playing
to
Brock
realize-
Purdy.
Yes, you have to realize, but this is such a special situation that we're in.
What is it? What about this
Yes.
situation is not going to continue to be?
Okay, but you're saying that how long is it? Sorry,
They
this is like,
add Calvin Ridley,
yes,
and he's 10 spots behind Brock Purdy now.
for 4 weeks. Come on.
So if by the end of the year he's 4 or 5 spots behind Brock Purdy, then what?
Then I'm still fine holding Trevor Lawrence in Dynasty.
For what? For what? My point
Because-
is, if you...
Okay.
Yes, exactly. This is the Pitts Hawkinson all over again.
Absolutely.
One of them is going to score a fuck ton of fantasy points. The other one
Yeah,
is
and the other
physically
one's
more
Brock
gifted.
Purdy.
The other one's physically more gifted. It was a higher
my
draft
God.
pick. Who gives a shit? If it helps your team to get Brock Purdy, DJ Moore, or Brock Purdy and A-Chain, why are you not taking that?
I can't do it.
You wouldn't take Brock Purdy and A-Chain.
An A-Chain?
You wouldn't. I know you would decline
I
it.
still wouldn't.
This is
do it.
fucking ridiculous.
You're hitting me in a place where it hurts, and I don't like it. Like
I'm making you think.
it's just a really good question, and I think
Why
more
not
people need
use
to see
somebody
this
like Trevor
argument.
Lawrence to
Yeah.
go
If I
get
can-
4 assets and
Sure,
win money?
Absolutely. If I can get Purdy and then 2 additional starters and another nice piece, yes, I would do it. Absolutely, I would do it. But right now, you just said if I was offered DJ Moore and Brock Purdy, hell no, I'm not taking that. No.
Why?
Because they are not the same, my guy. They are not the same.
I'm not asking you to start an NFL franchise. I'm asking you to win fantasy matchups.
And I'm telling you,
You're
that
getting wide receiver 13 and QB
Right.
9
correct
for
But the
QB
perception-
18. Who
but
gives
the
a fuck what his name is
perception-
or how long his hair is?
People who I have to then try, if I give that value, that's like the top of his value ever. Like right now, this is the best that Brock Purdy will ever do with this.
Why?
Team because
Why
it's totally,
can't he
you just
continue to
made
get better every year?
Because you just made the. Oh well, are we talking about how good they are? Are we talking about fantasy? Because he
But
can
you're
be
acting
good.
like okay, this is Brock Purdy. He will not improve over the next year or the year
That's not what I
after or
said.
the year after.
I'm saying
You're
that-
saying Trevor Lawrence is better. Brock Purdy. Why can't Brock
Yes.
Purdy get as good as Trevor Lawrence?
I I don't think he's going to.
If he went to Clemson and won the Natty with Travis Etienne and Justin
okay.
Ross and those guys, we're talking about
Sure.
him.
Well, here's the
He's
thing.
Aaron Rodgers.
If Brock
Come on, man.
If Brock Purdy gets to a point where he can sign an extension and be cemented as this team's quarterback,
He will.
Absolutely.
They traded away the number 3 overall pick because they had him. Because they found him.
I don't like this.
They
question
moved
because-
Jimmy. They sold
Yeah.
Trey Lance for fucking nothing. A mid-round pick because we
God.
have Brock. Not even we have Brock. We have Brock who's coming off of surgery.
Yeah.
Fuck Trey Lance.
Yeah, but I think
It
Trey
makes
Lance
you
is
think.
just
All right,
really
we have
bad.
to move on. We have to move on.
Geez, we spent half the show talking about Brock.
It was a
Purdy.
great conversation. That
I
is
like
going
it.
to be one that
I
we
need,
cut up.
I need that conversation to be on Twitter. That needs to be.
We
that
will
needs to
cut
be a
that
thing.
one.
Goodness.
Real or fake? What continues and what dies out very soon?
Ooh.
Similar conversation. We'll start at the top. Jordan Love is QB3 on the season.
Mm-hmm.
Is he still a top 10 quarterback by the end of 2023? Is this real?
Oh, that's tough. That's really good. I gotta say no. I gotta say no on that. I don't think he's a top 10.
Okay.
I think other guys are gonna get their shit together and they'll move up. He's top half of the league though. I think he's definitely top 15 for sure.
Jacob says he's fake as fuck.
He could be.
Again, you have Aaron Jones, Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a whole lot. He's been
Yeah.
behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 years. Why is he fake? What if
you
he's
need to
okay?
do, you need to trade Trevor Lawrence for Jordan Love right now because the weapons that he's throwing.
In redraft, I'd start Jordan Love over Trevor Lawrence every week.
Holy shit! All right.
Why not?
That's not bad. Okay. I can't because we've already talked about this. Jordan Love has an incredible schedule. Like
He does,
there's-
and he's got weapons that all you have to do is
Yeah.
give it to Aaron Jones on a 3-yard screen, and he's gone. Christian Watson, gone. This is Miami part 2.
Yeah, Jacob. Yeah, I tend to probably agree with this premise, but I don't think he's going to be exposed this season. We might have to get answers next year when the schedule lightens up or he gets a tougher schedule.
I think he
don't-
finishes inside the top 12.
That's fair. He could. I don't see him being top 10.
We're going to
Top
skip
12.
Trevor Lawrence. We've said his name enough. You obviously believe he's better than QB19. I think he is too, but I don't think he finishes inside the top 12.
Sure.
We are 25% of the way through. It takes
Yeah.
huge weeks to change things very soon.
Yeah.
If we get halfway
Yeah.
through the year and you're QB 17, you got to throw up 30s over and over again to climb into the top 12 because those top 12 are going to continue to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
James Cook is an RB1 through 4 weeks. Real or fake?
This is real.
I agree.
Honestly, James Cook looking good, gets a lot of opportunity, and he's actually performed under expectation right now. So the way I view it, I think that he's going to actually continue to improve as the season goes along. So I like James Cook. He's a hard hold for me, and if you can buy him, I would trade Derrick Henry for James Cook plus if you can.
I would say maybe he slides back into that RB15 range just because there's going to be guys that continue to get touchdowns and he might not. But
That's fair.
I think that he's a very high-end RB2. Ramondre Stevenson has been outscored by Jerome Ford, Zach Moss, Khalil Herbert. What is Ramondre actually? He's currently RB23.
I still think Ramondre is going to end up as a top 15 running back. We've seen a rough go right now for this offense. But I think other guys, Zach Moss is probably going to be replaced at some point. Khalil Herbert probably going to be more of a timeshare moving forward. Ramondre, you're seeing him split some work with Zeke, but I'm not worried about it. He's in a run-heavy offense.
Yeah.
Ramondre is going to get work. He's going to have big games to come. I don't think I've used.
High-level RB2?
He's a high-level RB2. Yeah, that's
Okay.
fair.
Nico Collins is a top 10 wide receiver by the end of 2023.
Ooh, that's spicy. Because man, he's killing it. Goodness gracious. Yeah, what is he? He's already the wide receiver 8,
7.
7. Gosh, man. Yeah, he's.
I don't think he's a top 10. I'll put
I
him
don't
in the
think
15
no.
to 20 range.
Yeah, he's very much like Ramondre. He's gonna be a high end too. If he still gets that volume and that offense still looks as good with CJ Stroud, I'm here for it. Nico Collins is someone I'm holding on to. Like we said, him or T. Higgins.
He's somebody you can't take out of your lineup, but I also wouldn't accept for somebody like Keenan Allen or
Sure.
who else is in that group?
Amon-Ra. Okay. How about Ayuk?
I'm not taking him
Devonta
over those
Smith.
guys.
Yeah. No. Yeah,
he's going to outscore Devontae Smith probably half the weeks.
Interesting. He could, for sure. Yeah. I
that's just how Philly rolls. I'm not saying he's better, but that's how Philly is.
Right.
Romeo Doubs, wide receiver 16, over Garrett Wilson, wide receiver 26, for the rest of the season. Yes or no?
Do I think Romeo?
This is a show full of God.
That's
damn,
really
that's
good.
tough.
That's you did some work on this, man.
I did.
I am proud of this one. This is a hell of a show. Because I just had a conversation with a friend of mine over Romeo Doubs. Romeo Doubs is him.
He's nice.
But here's the thing. I'm gonna explain it kind of how I see it. The end answer is I think Garrett Wilson overtakes Romeo Doubs by the end of the season.
I agree.
By the end of the season. Romeo Doubs is great. He's not just dealing with Christian Watson. I think there's a hidden gem and a riser in this offense in Jayden Reed. If you watch Jayden Reed play in this offense, he's going to demand work in this offense. Luke Musgrave is going to demand work. Aaron Jones going to be added to the offense. A.J. Dillon sucks. So, I mean, Romeo Doubs, he's getting volume, but that's not by accident. I like him, and I like Garrett Wilson over him, though, for the rest of the year. Just the volume of Garrett Wilson.
I do, too.
That's not going anywhere.
Garrett Wilson making men drink and run all over town, says Ben. That is referring to a bet that he and I made, which was before the season, which in turn is before Aaron Rodgers ruptured his Achilles. The bet still stands. There was no fine print here.
Nope.
Garrett Wilson versus Amon-Ra St. Brown, straight up total points in 2023. Garrett Wilson is about 4 catches for 40 yards and a touchdown behind him, but he can catch up.
Sure.
We'll see with the return of Jamo and the onslaught that's coming for Jahmyr Gibbs and what that does to Amon-Ra. But
sure,
Garrett Wilson, I think he does start to overtake Romeo Doubs. I think that Christian Watson coming back, he'll slowly start to eat into that. I disagree with you that Jayden Reed will demand work. I think Christian Watson will be the 1, Doubs will be the 2, or 1A, 1B, and then as long as Aaron Jones is healthy, I don't think that Reed is reliable enough to put in the lineup. We'll see.
Okay.
Calvin Ridley was wide receiver 6 in week 1. He is now wide receiver 37 through the first month of the year. What is Calvin Ridley actually?
Oh, here's the thing. Calvin Ridley is someone I want on my team. Is going to, he's going to be, he'll be a high-end wide receiver too. He's going to finish as a wide receiver. I'm going to put it like wide receiver. I was going to say 14.
14?
Look, here's the thing. Calvin Ridley is supremely talented. This offense is fucking weird. Sometimes targets go places where they shouldn't. Sometimes Trevor Lawrence plays great and has these massive 450-yard games. Sometimes he throws for 202 yards and a single touchdown.
When you say sometimes, it sounds plural. How many 450-yard games has he had?
Yeah, like I said, he plays really well all the time. I'd have to look how many 450-yard games Trevor Lawrence has. But I'm
going to guess 0.
I don't know, actually. Okay.
450?
Let me talk.
Who the fuck is he? Peyton Manning? Tom Brady?
Okay, first of all, let me look at the camera, okay? And I'm going to talk about some things while I research this about Trevor Lawrence.
I will look it up for you.
Okay, I appreciate it.
While you talk.
So Jacksonville has a very favorable schedule the rest of the season for wide receiver, and Trevor Lawrence is going to get back to, in my opinion, where he's targeting Calvin Ridley, he's also going to be getting to a point where he's spreading the ball around between him and Christian Kirk. 2 targets and a touchdown is not going to be a normal game for Calvin Ridley. I think he's going to get back to, like I said, 8 targets a game. I think that this offense is going to get rolling. I'm not panicked about this offense. I've seen enough from them to where it's okay. For whatever reason, Trevor Lawrence takes a minute to get going, during the season, and we know that that's possible with that offense. So yeah, Calvin Ridley, he is like you said, wide receiver 37 through 4 weeks. I think he's going to finish in the top 15.
I agree. I'm still in on Calvin Ridley. Trevor Lawrence in his career has never thrown for more than 368 yards. In fact, Dustin,
Oh boy,
he's gone over 290 yards just 6 times.
Okay.
6 times over 290.
Yep.
He is not Justin Herbert. Let's stop acting like he is.
He's a tier below. Yeah.
He's in the Brock Purdy tier.
Oh, get! I'm not doing this again. You're not baiting me on this.
Hunter Henry, through 2 weeks,
Man. Can we go
was
back to
the
talking
tight
about
end
Lawrence?
number 2 on the season through the first 2. Y'all's lover boy. Since then, we said, we as in me and the mouse in my pocket, we said cut him or trade him. He sucks. Since the first 2 weeks, he is tight end 22.
Mm-hmm.
Are we back out? Are we joining Travis's reality, or is he
No.
still a top
No.
8 to 10 guy?
Yeah, he's easily a top to 8 to 10 guy. I mean, if you watch the Patriots play, their passing game goes as far as Hunter Henry can take them. They ran into a buzzsaw against Dallas. They had a really tough game against the Jets, where they just
You're
wanted to
saying
run
he's
the
a
ball.
top 8 tight end?
Easy.
If you had Hunter Henry and I offered you Jake Ferguson, would you take it?
Yeah, I would take Jake Ferguson because I think Jake Ferguson's also going to be a top 8 tight end.
Evan Ingram,
No, I'm going to keep Hunter Henry.
George Kittle,
Yeah, I would take Kittle for sure.
Dallas Goedert.
Henry.
Wow, he's way up there for you.
Yeah, I mean, so it's similar volume, and Dallas Goedert is a hot name on a hot offense, but he's not the one on that offense. Hunter Henry just happens to be the one on that offense, and
Hunter Henry's coming off 2 catches and 4 catches. That's
yeah.
not that much volume.
If you look at the targets, though, yeah, he's being targeted. He's getting there. All it takes is another touchdown, and guess what? He's right back up there. And
That's true.
if you look at if you want to see how many points are changing or separating the tight ends, I can tell you.
Kelsey, Hawkinson, Andrews, Laporta, Kittle are the 5.
Sure.
Then you get into the Waller, Evan Ingram, Ferguson, Pitts, Higbee. I would prefer Higbee over Hunter Henry.
Yeah.
We'll get to Tyler Higbee later.
Would you rather have Sam Laporta or Cole Kmet?
Laporta.
Yeah. You know how many points per game or how many points on the season they're different? 4.
Yes, but volume, like we just said, like Tyler Higbee's coming off 11 targets.
Right.
That Hunter Henry's
Right.
never going to see that.
11 targets?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say never. I wouldn't say never on that, but sure.
Until the day he dies, he won't see 11 targets in a game. Has he ever seen 11 targets in a game?
Do you remember how much they used him in San Diego?
And back in Vietnam? Holy shit, he's on the Patriots.
I know, but you're saying has he ever seen that? Yeah, like he's been that kind of guy.
You're not starting him. If you have him and you have somebody like
I
Evan
have
Ingram
Mark
or Gerald
Andrews
Everett, you're
on
not
my
starting
team with
Hunter
him.
Henry.
Yes, I am. I'm starting Hunter Henry. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, we're going to watch
Why-
Hunter Henry every week, just like we watch Jahmyr Gibbs.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Darren Waller has 1 game over 7 points this year. Is he actually not a top 10 tight end? Safe
he's
to
not.
say his ceiling is incredibly low in that offense.
Uh,
If somebody offered you Waller for your Hunter Henry, are you taking it?
no,
I would smash accept.
no, hell no. I'm not touching that offense. No, not a chance. No.
I think he's their best option.
Yes,
They've
but they
sucked,
They
but
haven't
when
used
they
him.
get Barkley back and maybe they figure something out on the O-line, I would still take Waller for the upside. I
What are
don't
they
think
gonna
Hunter
figure
Henry
out?
has upside.
What? Jeez.
What
I-
upside? They've scored 10 points a week.
What upside with Darren Waller? Have you watched the Giants play through 4 games?
Who's the-
They've
okay,
been
so
outscored
you can
90
use-
to 15.
You can use the who's a better player like you do with Trevor Lawrence, or we can use fantasy points. Which one do you want to go with?
Okay, fine. Let's go with fantasy points.
I think
Okay, make your
Darren
argument.
Waller outscores Hunter Henry in, what do we have? 14
13
games left? 13 games left?
13 games.
I would say Darren Waller outscores Hunter Henry in 10 or more of those.
Okay, I would take that. I would take that. I would take
You
that
think-
easy.
You think he does not do that?
I think Hunter Henry will outscore him more than that.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll have to come
I
up with
agree.
a wager later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jacob makes a good point here. I think we both tried to put it up at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
All right, we will move on here. A lot of disagreements on today's show.
I like it.
Tonight
spicy.
and today's
We're
show.
spicy. Today.
Leg shave bet can't be placed until the previous leg shave bet is paid.
That is true. That is true. I need to do that. Get around
Big
to that.
picks of the week.
Hell yeah.
Dustin quarterback. What do we got?
For this week, I have Jared Goff against the Carolina Panthers. Look, Jared Goff, very precise passer, lots of weapons, gets Jameson Williams back in this game. You love to see this thing. Also, yeah, the Carolina Panthers seem to be having some success this year against some weak O-lines. Their pass rush grade is really great according to PFF, but here's the thing. There's no O-lines like the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
And they're going to move the ball a ton. I think that Jared Goff is definitely going to throw a couple of touchdowns here. He's going to be a top 10 guy this week. So I'm in. I'm in on Jared Goff. I think he has a big game.
I like it. He was one of mine I was considering. I'm going to go with Jordan Love. Same division, different game in Las Vegas. They're actually playing in the Sphere. It's going to be dope. Vegas giving up over 20 points per game to opposing fantasy quarterbacks so far. As mentioned earlier, Jordan Love is on fire. QB3 through 4 weeks. Another full week of Christian Watson, who has been practicing fully all week so far. This offense is going to flow nicely when you have Watson, Romeo, and Aaron Jones all healthy. It's really nice when your running back or one of your receivers can take it to the house from 60 yards out.
It helps. It helps in NFL offense.
I'll stick with my running back here, Brees
Yeah.
Hall. I am buying the coach speak this week. Training wheels are off. This is Brees's I'm back game. Denver has given up 41 points per game to opposing running backs. I know it helps when the Dolphins go for 90 combined or run 100 fantasy points combined. Yes, it inflates it, but Denver sucks. We also hate Denver and Russell Wilson, so Brees is going to light them up. Jets beat the Broncos on the back of Brees Hall.
I like that take, and I agree with it. My running back pick this week is Brian Robinson of the Washington Commanders,
That
and
hurts.
they face the Bears.
Bears.
Yeah. Anyway, he's near top 12 in volume this year, and his success rate's really nice. I think Riverboat Ron's going to turn up the heat and ram it down the Bears' throat. Nothing they can really do to stop it. I think that it's going to be an entertaining game, just because I for whatever reason I keep watching the Bears. But Brian Robinson, I think he's almost a lock for a touchdown in this game, and probably going to put up another 60, 70 yards at least. I like Brian Robinson in this game, and there's going to be plenty of red zone opportunities for this offense. I don't see this defense being able to force Sam Howell into the turnovers that he's been prone to. So, yeah, Brian Robinson going to rack him up this week. Moving on to the wide receiver, though, my big pick, Trav, is Garrett Wilson, a guy we've talked about a few times.
Let's go
on this podcast. You've brought up Breece Hall as a weapon, and we love when weapons face the Broncos. Broncos easily have given up, and I've talked about this for multiple weeks. They're what the Arizona Cardinals were last year. You play your weapons against them every single week. Garrett Wilson gets the volume. I don't care who's throwing him. Zach Wilson, Garrett Wilson, Taylor Swift, whatever. Throw anyone out there, and he's going to catch balls against the Broncos. It's just another 14 targets coming probably, this week. So it's going to be a fun game for Garrett Wilson and Zach Wilson this week.
Over under 23 points in a full PPR.
Oh, I'm going to go over.
I like it. Me too. All right. Wide receiver big pick for me from your Chicago Bears who play on Thursday. Justin Fields is going to go nuts. And it's going to be in large part because of DJ Moore, somebody we've stayed high on who has not let us down. Washington is a terrible, terrible defense against the pass. Fields was absolutely locked in on DJ Moore last week. He is borderline wide receiver 1. He's just outside at 13 right now. He climbs into wide receiver 1 talk after this week. Let's keep what just worked going and not change too much for the Bears. Yes, they lost, but the offense was okay, 28 points. DJ Moore is a monster. Tight end Dalton Schultz from the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
He finally got more involved in week 4. It's about time. I'm not sure what took so long, but I did like what I saw. He's on the field every play. It's not that he's not involved. It's just that Nico's been eating, Tank Dell's been eating. He's going to be fine. I think Atlanta giving up 12 points per game to the tight end so far will help Schultz. I think he goes over 12 points, probably at 15 in a PPR league this week.
Wow. All right. I like it. That's bold, and it feels good.
Yep.
My tight end big pick of the week is Zach Ertz of the Arizona Cardinals. The Cincinnati Bengals defense has looked pretty good at times, but they've given up 3 touchdowns to the tight end, and Zach Ertz is seeing volume on this offense. Look, call it what it is. The Cardinals are playing better than we all expected them to, and they're in every game that they've played. So I think that Ertz is going to be able to take advantage of the 4th friendliest defense in terms of tight end fantasy points, and it's nice to see the resurgence. I like rooting for the guy, and I like the way he plays. So Zach Ertz this week going to have a big game, top 3 tight end on the week.
I like it. I'm going to give you some fantasy point lines instead of yard predictions for the 4 players on the sheet for tomorrow's game because we won't be talking until post game. Justin Fields, 24 fantasy points versus the Commanders, over, under.
I'm going to go over.
I like it. I agree. Sam Howell, 22 points versus the Bears.
Under.
Under. Okay. I will go right on 22.0. How about that?
Wow. All right.
DJ Moore.
That's
DJ Moore in a full PPR gives you 19 tomorrow.
Ooh, I'm going to go under.
Under. All right.
Under.
19 would be 6 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm going to go under.
All right. Terry McLaurin, over under 17 in a PPR, meaning 5 for 60 in a touchdown.
I like that. I like that for Terry. I think he gets it done.
So Terry outscores DJ Moore.
I think so.
All right. Well, fuck my big pick. All right. That's all I got for tonight. Wednesday at 9 o'clock Central, we wrap up the show. I will be back on tomorrow, Dustin. Yes or no? Maybe.
That's gonna be a hard maybe. I have a very angry baby a lot of the time. She's the boss. She kind of tells me what I can do, but I will be contributing. Gonna be trying to find some more ways to get some content out there.
All right, sounds good. Bears tomorrow night. You'll be wearing your jersey.
Can't wait. As always, make sure you set your lineups, take your Thursday night players, put them in your slots, take them out of your flex. And as always, losing sucks. Don't do it.